Guys, how's it going this morning?
We're feeling dramatic this morning. None of that normal stuff. We're going to go into something intense. But tell us what we have today, Tony.
Today on Making IT Easy, we're going to look at sharing photos from your phone. So when you're taking a photo from your phone, being able to actually share it to somebody at that time, which is really cool. We're also going to look at Grabby Word as our game of the week. And I want to talk about Bitwarden for our app of the day to put your passwords and things like that in. And also we're something for nothinging about working out at home, because winter's coming up and, getting out and about is not so exciting with the weather turning. So a little bit of working out at home.
That sounds like a pretty good show. I'm liking it.
Okay.
Do you reckon we're going to do as good a show as James Ray did within your neighbourhood this morning?
Oh, he's good fun, isn't he?
It's a big ask. Yeah. I love the fact that he does so much local stuff. I'm going to try and hit on a couple of those things in the socials today, but don't do it as well as James does. And of course, after us, at 3 o'clock, we've got Rock Aria coming up. So you've got a big afternoon in store, and I have a screenshot somewhere of all the stuff that Rock Aria is doing. So we'll talk about that a bit later on.
Okay. Tell me something. Do you have
theme today?
Do you have some Elvis today?
I do.
Oh, good.
We're actually a slow Elvis today, which is not like me.
Oh.
But, sometimes you got to do the slow thing. We are having a theme of spouses, husbands and wives and partners today.
Okay.
I know. I've got a couple of quirky songs.
All right. So what's hit me with some Elvis?
Oh, well, of course, we have Love Me Tender.
Oh.
Love me tender, love me sweet, never let me go. You have made my life complete, and I love you so. Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill. For my darling, I love you, and I always will. Love me tender, love me long, take me to your heart, for it's there that I belong and will never part. Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill. For my darling, I love you, and I always will. Love me tender, love me dear, tell me you are mine. I'll be yours through all the years, till the end of time. Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill. For my darling, I love you, and I always will.
Our tip of the day, the tip trick recap.
That's right. Yes, I like to just remind you what it was that I told you last week that you should have practiced. So you can turn it into a listener question and we can figure out what else we need to know. But anyway, look, last week we touched briefly on printing from your phone, which was something a lot of people have been asking me over the years. Like, I've got this printer in the other room. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to print from your phone? And you can, as long as a couple of things you need to make sure first. First of all, it needs to be...
The printer is on.
You like to point that out.
It's the voice of experience.
Okay, the printer needs to be on, but even if it is on and it's not the right kind of printer, it's not going to work.
Good point.
So it needs to be a Wi-Fi printer, okay, and it needs to be connected to your Wi-Fi network, and your phone also needs to be connected to that same Wi-Fi network so they can see each other. All right, that needs to be all part of the same network in that space. Whether you have an Android or an Apple, it's true in both cases. If you have an Apple, your printer also ideally would need to be AirPrint compatible. Okay, now when you go and look at your printer, it'll have stamped on it somewhere on the box or in the documentation, or maybe you can Google the model number online and the word AirPrint. It's one word. Make sure your printer is an AirPrint Apple compatible printer, otherwise you're going to have trouble printing from your iPhone. If you have an Android device, it's much easier to do that. All you really need to make sure is it's on the Wi-Fi network, and then you add this thing called a print broker or a service through settings. Okay, if you're using an Android, you go into settings, search for printing, and you should see your printer on the network connected to your Wi-Fi device. If it's not there, you can add a service based on the model of your printer, be it an Epson, a Canon, a Brother, or whatever the case may be. Okay. If you want to go back to our show notes in episode 37, I've got some details in there about how to go through this process, and Google is your friend as well. Lots of people have gone through this process. Apple is much easier because you don't need to set anything up. As long as it's an AirPrint printer, it will see it and work magically.
Love that about Apple.
Yes. So have a go. And look, if you have troubles or any specific issues, please reach out, and hopefully I can answer your question, and that will help other people who may be having the same problems.
Thank you. I did mention that there was going to be a couple of really quirky songs in our theme today. Our theme is spouses, or husbands and wives. And this is a song from, I think it's around about the 1920s, although this particular artist was kind of lost in the archives and didn't come back to light again until like the 1940s. So this is Mississippi John Hurt. And as I said, this is like a 1920s song when he's singing about the way he's treated by his wife is nobody else's business but his own. And I love it.
It's nobody's dirty business how my baby treat me. Nobody's business but mine. Nobody's dirty business how my baby treat me. Nobody's business but my own. Say, baby, did you get that letter? If you take me back, I'll treat you better. Nobody's business but mine. Ain't nobody's dirty business how my baby treat me. Nobody's business but my own. Back to Pensacola by my baby, money molder. Nobody's business but mine. Ain't nobody's dirty business how my baby treat me. Nobody's business but my own. Well, sometime a baby gets boozy, then again she tries to rule me. Nobody's business but mine. Ain't nobody's dirty business how my baby treat me. Nobody's business but my own. said, say, baby, did you get that letter? If you take me back, I'll treat you better. Nobody business but mine. Ain't nobody dirty business how my baby treat me. Nobody's business but my own. Dirty business how my baby treat me. Nobody business but mine. Ain't nobody dirty business how my baby treat me. Nobody's business but my own.
Wow. Mississippi
John Hurt. Yeah. Yeah, he's got a great album. So if you haven't heard of it, which you probably haven't, because I don't think anyone has, it's pretty sweet. Yeah.
Excellent.
Tips and tricks. What have you got for us today?
Something new. Taking photos on your device is something just about everybody can do now with their eyes closed. Right? You just kind of open the phone and
it's helpful if you have eyes open because it's better for that distance.
This is true.
Yeah.
But once you take the photo, it's like, oh, what am I going to do with it? You just send it in your photo album. It's like, oh, I want to send that to my mum, my sister, my brother, my friend.
You always want to send it to someone.
That kind of thing happens a lot. And, the beauty of being able to do it on your phone is you can just send it right there and then because you're connected to a network of some kind, whether it be through your phone tower, through your standard connections through 4G, 5G, or if you're sitting at home on your Wi-Fi or whatever, you've got connectivity. So you can just send it wherever you like. And, of course, the apps make it easy to send. So once you've taken your photo in your camera app, right at the time that you've taken your photo, both in Apple and Android, you get a little thumbnail in the corner to show you the photo that you've taken, right? Mm-hmm. So if you tap on that thumbnail, the benefit of tapping on that thumbnail straight away is if you don't like the photo, you can hit the rubbish bin straight away, right? Rather than having it in your photo album later and then having to go through and delete all the stuff
forever.
that you don't want. You can hit delete at that point. But if you decide that that's fantastic, you can do a couple of things. You can edit it there and then before you send it if you want to, because most devices will have an edit option where you can adjust brightness, contrast and focus and all sorts of things like that. Or, if you've managed to take it and you're happy with it, you can hit the share button or the share option. Now, in the Android space, down the bottom of the screen, usually it's down the bottom of the screen, some vendors have it in different places. So once you tap that thumbnail of the picture and it brings the picture up, have a look for something on the screen that says share. Now, if it doesn't say share, it might show a symbol of a less than sign with a couple of round circles on the axes and the endpoints. That means share as well in Android speak. Okay. If you have an Apple device, so far exactly the same thing happens, except you won't see that less than sign with the dots. You'll see a square or a rectangle box with an arrow coming out of it. Right? That means share in Apple speak. Right. So between the two, you should be able to figure out which button to press or which icon to tap on to give you that option to share. Now, if you've tapped that share option, what you'll generally get, and I'm going to do it on both my devices, so I'm telling you exactly what's happening. On my Android device, I get a row across the top that says send in Google Photos, right? But because Android is in bed with Google and all that kind of thing in that Google space, they are just assuming that the cleverest thing to do is to send it to other people who are using Google devices as well, right?
Yes.
So you can share it to your Google Photos and then you create this share that other people can access. So you don't actually send the photo. You just send a link to your Google account that they can access. Okay. It means you're not taking up space in sending them something that's taking up space. They can just quickly jump in and have a look, right? So they usually get a row of that says send in Google Photos. Then beneath that, there'll be a share to apps option. And that's the one you're most likely going to use because you may want to send it via WhatsApp, via your Messenger chats, so your Facebook Messenger chats, or via messages, so via SMS.
Or via email.
And yes, what you'll find is that the three most popular things that you've used in the past will appear. And in my case, it's WhatsApp, Messenger chats and messages. But next to it, there's a little more button. And when you tap on the more button, it gives you all of the apps that are installed in your device that are capable of providing this share mechanism. And
mine's similar, slightly different in that I think the most commonly used ones come first, but I just swipe or it scrolls along and I go through all the different ones to find them.
Okay, you can scroll or look for a more option. It depends on what version.
That bit is fairly intuitive.
Yep. So I've got Outlook installed, but you might have Gmail installed, or you might have some other mail. If you've got a Samsung device, it's called Mail. Whatever it is, you can email your photos through that. So once you've going through that process again, you click on the thumbnail, you then click on the share option, whatever option you've got, be it Android or Apple, and then either share it through Google Photos, which is a little bit more complicated if you've not done that before, or you can share it specifically to an app. All right. And in most cases, people will use SMS because it's a phone and everybody's got their phone.
Which means sending by text, a picture by text.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they call it MMS, multimedia service, but SMS, same kind of thing. And once you tap on that, you can type usually a couple of words. If you want to say something about the photo, it'll show you the photo that you've pasted in there, and you can type a few things saying, hey, check us out, whatever, and then hit send and away you go. Mm-hmm. Right, really, really simple and straightforward. And once you've done it a few times, it'll become intuitive and things will be very easy for you going forward. The other thing with that share option, we talked about in the previous tips and tricks recap earlier about printing. That's the same place you would go to print.
Right.
Okay, so that share option, you can share to apps, and one of the apps is Printer. Right? So think about that in the back of your mind. Now, if you've already taken a photo and you want to get one from your photo album, it's exactly the same thing. Go into the photo album first, select the photo, and then you're in that same spot that you were before when you click the thumbnail of the picture from your camera.
Perfect.
All right.
One more thing I'll add is if you're going into your photos to do it and you click on it, it'll give you the option of swiping through your photos and clicking on others. So you can actually send multiple photos right at that place. And then exactly the same. Go through the share, send it through whatever.
Yep. From the photo album, that's much easier. When you're on the thumbnail, you then have to go to the photo album to find the others. So you'll get the hang of it. Just do it a couple of times. Send it to whoever. Send it to us. You've got our text number.
Yeah,
what is it, by the way?
Good question.
Look it up.
I'll let you know in a minute. One more thing that we can mention with that is sometimes it'll ask you if you want to reduce the image size, especially if you're sending it by email. And that's a good idea. It's very unlikely that the recipient is going to need it at the full size.
Yes, I think it only gives you that option in email. If you're, maybe text messages as well, I think it might tell you. So keep in mind, the smaller the picture, the quicker and more efficient it will be, and you'll be happy.
Wonderful. This is Bing Crosby and the Andrews Sisters, 1944, a song about a husband and wife who accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative in their lives.
You got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, and latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. You got to spread joy up to the maximum, bring bloom down to the minimum, and have faith or pandemonium, liable to walk up on the scene. To illustrate my last remark, Jonah in the whale, Noah in the ark. What did they do just when everything looked so dark? And they said we better accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative and latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In Between. You gotta accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative and latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. You gotta spread joy up to the maximum, bring gloom down to the minimum, and have faith. Pandemonium, liable to walk upon the scene. To illustrate, let's remark, Jonah in the wheel, Noah in the ark. What did they do just when everything looked so dark? Man, they said we better accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative and latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, don't you mess with Mr. In Between.
If you have an opinion or a question, text us on 0485 838 436. Making IT Easy with Tony and Kay on HFM 107.3.
Looking for your local coffee haven? Then look no further than station sponsor That Plant Cafe in Kelmscott, right opposite Dan Murphy's on the Albany Highway. Sip on a delicious brew and savour healthy, hearty breakfast options.
Oh, God, it's so good.
Explore a selection of local goodies and glorious plants. They're open for breakfast from 6 a.m, so swing by and say hello before they close at 4. That Plant Cafe, your perfect morning, midday or afternoon retreat, where great coffee and lush greenery meet. Station sponsor.
You're listening to Making IT Easy on 107.3 HFM.
Me. Why not take all of me? Can't you see I'm no good without you? Take my lips, I wanna lose them. Take my arms, I'll never use them. Your goodbyes, they left me with eyes that cried. How can I get along without you? You took the part that once was my heart, so why not take all of me? Let's go, boys, let's go. Goodbye, you left me with eyes that cried. Now I'm lost without you, and now that you took that part that used to be my heart. Of me, why not take all of me? Can't you see I'm a mess without you? You took the part that used to be my heart, so why not take all of me?
In Forest Lakes, Cannington and Keysbrook, we're the voice of your community. 107.3 HFM.
And some IT news for this week. The WWDC happened on Wednesday. That's the Apple Worldwide Developers Conference in 2023. It's a yearly event if you don't know that it exists, and all the Apple fanboys and girls get very excited to find out what happened. So it landed on Wednesday this week, and there was lots to talk about as usual. The CEO, Tim Cook, opened with his usual keynote presentation, and not surprisingly, hardly mentioned the term AI for the duration. Instead, he focused on the very familiar phrase machine learning, which of course is what AI is, right?
Yeah.
Apple devices are well known as the most secure devices in the world, with your data privacy being of utmost importance. So talk of AI and all that jazz is not something Apple is going to buy into, at least not as openly and as blatantly as Microsoft and Google. Instead, Tim focused on the new Apple tech. And if you're looking for some apples, the new 15-inch MacBook Air is a slim and a lightweight beast packed with features and promises 18 hours of battery life. That is just ridiculous for a laptop.
Yeah, wow.
The Mac Studio and the Mac Pro range are getting a new chip. That's a new processor called the M2 Ultra, which they promise is 50% faster than the M1, and the M1 was already lightning fast. So the interesting thing is that Apple are moving away from Intel-based processors this year moving forward. So interesting, because now they're focusing on their own processors. They're able to obviously do better things and faster things with it, more of performance, and hence the battery life and things like that they're able to tweak. In operating systems, so the iOS is your operating system for your Apple devices. So iOS 17 is the new version of the phone operating system that's coming out. It promises a bunch of new features, including contact posters, which is a pretty cool idea. So you see your contact come up, but it's actually like a splash screen which shows pictures of them. Voicemail live transcriptions, that's fantastic. So instead of reading your text messages, listening to your voicemail, you can see it come up as a text message. And FaceTime video, they're actually allowing messaging. So if nobody's home, when you get your FaceTime, you can actually leave a message at the beep, which is a very
kind of
different
clever.
thing. Yeah.
Cute.
There are some tweaks for autocorrect, so there's no more auto duck, and we're not talking about ducking the volume here. And a better search option that will look deep into your phone apps, including conversation content. So if you're looking for something that you've said or somebody else said it to you, the search will go phone wide into the apps and the conversations that you may have had through whatever app you've got installed.
I'll
which
use
is
that.
Fantastic.
That'll be great.
The iPad has its own operating system called iPad OS, and it's getting some love as well, including widgets on the lock screen, which is a really nice thing to have, because the iPad is a bigger screen, and it makes sense, when you wake your device up, to have a look at and be able to quickly glance at your messages on that screen without having to unlock it first. Of course, there's security things to consider and fingerprint and face recognition, but that's really cool. And they're going to integrate live data with it, so you'll be able to actually see the weather as it is now, or the news headlines as they are now. They're also adding the ability to plug in external cameras, so you can have, rather than relying on the cameras that are built into your iPads, you can plug in external cameras if you want to do some proper videoing and stuff. And there are better PDF editing options built in, and the Health app, if you're using your Health app with your smartwatch and various things like that, it's actually built into the iPad OS as well. But most excitingly, Apple has announced the Vision Pro VR headset, slated to land early this year. Apple's been holding off jumping into the VR market for years, letting everyone else, as they do, letting everyone else go in there and hang themselves before they come out with something that's a killer product. This is going to be called the Spatial Computer, and it will have the ability to run iOS apps with an augmented reality environment. So you can control it by keyboard, by hand gestures waving around, and by voice, allowing you to literally work and play at the same time. The cost, though, is ridiculous, even by Apple standards. They're looking at about $3,500 US. I think that will come down a little bit, but they're not expected to release it until later this year. But interesting stuff. The Spatial Computer, or the Vision Pro VR headset. And in other news, open table scam warning. So have you ever used one of those online table ordering systems at the pub?
Ah, yes, I have indeed.
They're pretty cool. Well, an online restaurant reservation service company, Open Table, has warned diners and the hospitality industry of a new scam that's been targeting them too. With the current situation, the pandemic's still around, yeah? So people are still opting for contact-free options, and scammers, of course, are taking advantage of this by creating an imposter app that looks like the OpenTable app. OpenTable has said that diners need to be cautious when receiving calls from restaurants asking for credit card details, because these scammers often pretend to be requesting or refunding a deposit, but in reality they're looking to steal your credit card information. In a situation like this, it's important to ask questions and exercise caution before sharing any information. If you're unsure whether the credit card details are needed, consider hanging up and calling the restaurant back directly to confirm their identity and whether this information is actually required.
Excellent advice.
OpenTable has reminded diners that they should never share any personal or financial information unless they are certain of the recipient's identity, and that's not just OpenTable. Yes, that's standard.
That's everybody.
Yes, makes sense. They also recommend that diners keep an eye out for any suspicious activity on their credit card statements and report that to transactions to the relevant authorities should you find something. We haven't talked about TikTok for a few weeks. It's been in the news quite a lot, with potential bans looming in the US and a ban already in place on government-issued devices in Australia. However, despite all the controversy, TikTok has just released its active user numbers for the Australian market for the first time. According to the social media company's Australia office, a whopping 8.5 million Australian users are active on the platform every single month.
Wow.
That's a huge number of people, and it shows just how popular TikTok has become in Australia. Among those 8.5 million users are 350,000 businesses that use TikTok as a marketing tool to reach new and existing audience. This is a testament to the effectiveness of the platform as a marketing tool, and it's no surprise that so many businesses are jumping on board. Of course, the recent ban on TikTok app being used on government-issued devices here in Australia has raised some concerns about the platform's future. However, with basically 30% of the Australian population on TikTok, it seems impossible to imagine a ban any stricter than the one that's already in place for government devices. After all, no politician would want to risk putting 8.5 million Australians offside. It's clear that TikTok has become a huge part of the Australian culture, and its popularity shows no signs of slowing down anytime soon. Incidentally, while TikTok's 8.5 million in Australia is an impressive number, it's well short of the massive scale of Facebook, which sits somewhere between 15 and 20 million in Oz, with around 2.85 billion worldwide. Big numbers.
That is huge and absolutely stunning. Wow. Thank you very much. We have 1984, Foreigner, I Want to Know What Love Is. A song about a husband who wants to know what love is and asks his wife to show him and teach him how to love. How sweet.
I've gotta take a little time to think things over. I better read between the lines in case I need it when I'm older. This mountain I must climb feels like the world upon my shoulder. Through the clouds I see love shine. It keeps me warm as life grows colder. In my life there's been heartache and pain. I don't know if I can it again.
know that music.
That means there's something for nothing that you're going to share with us.
There are so many things for nothing.
I love it.
Today, I want to talk about... Oh, what is this? It's a $100 phone case. Okay. This week, I want to talk about working out at home.
Yes.
Because winter is coming.
I can do that for free at home. I don't need technology.
Yeah, okay. You can
It
do
gets
what?
boring, though.
Vacuum cleaners? And
Yeah, I could do some sit-ups or something, probably. Like, maybe.
Oh. Okay, well, YouTube.
Of course.
So I want to go back to YouTube because YouTube is a great place for entertainment, knowledge and other things, but you can also use it to help with fitness and exercise, especially, as I say, with winter coming and the weather worsening, it's more difficult to go out and do stuff. And, you know, you don't always want to go to the gym, so why not do some stuff at home? Consider what you need and what will work best for you and your individual circumstances. Right? Mm-hmm. So, for example, you could choose stretching, which is kind of a yoga-y thing. You can go for a low or high intensity cardio, or you can even target certain parts of your body for whatever you wish to achieve. You can take into account back pain, knee pain, other ailments that you might have, or whatever you feel like doing that day. You're completely in control, right?
Yes.
And I challenge you to find something that you want to do that's not on YouTube.
That's
somebody
I'm
that
running
somebody
through my
hasn't
head now.
already done it.
Yes.
Right? So what I've done is just quickly looked at a couple of things. So if you want to make a note of this or have a look at the show notes at magooit.com.au for episode 38, I will have the links and discussion in there. But Yoga with Adrian. Okay, she has about 11 million subscribers. So how bad could she be? Mm-hmm. And she starts off with 5-minute full body stretch, and she's also got one called Total Body Yoga. Right now, yoga is really cool. It's one of those things that I often thought when I was younger. Yoga, it's yoga stuff, but it really is good for your core and just some gentle stretching to get you moving. Right, even if you're not a particularly athletic person for whatever reason, yoga is a really, really good way, and you can put as much effort into it as you want.
Exactly. That's why it's so good at home, because if you want to just do part of the exercise or do 2 of the stretches rather than 10, you completely set your own pace.
Yeah. And if you can connect YouTube to your telly, so much the better. You can stream it via the various methods of streaming, so you can just lay down in front of the telly and get yourself a mat and go for it from there. Or you can just do it from your phone or your tablet or your PC, right? So YouTube is fantastic. So Yoga with Adrian, 5-minute full body stretch. Really good and worth a look. There's also Yoga with Cassandra. She focuses more on stretching. She's got about 2 million subscribers, so
Nowhere near as many.
Nowhere near as many. But she's got this 10-minute morning yoga full body stretch. That's fantastic, right? So if you can get yourself into a pattern of doing that in the morning, what a great way to start a wintry day. Yep. And there's one other one that I like a lot. It's called Go for Life. It's number 4, so Go number 4 Life, with Sandy McGrath from the National Institute on Aging. She does a 15-minute workout for older Australians and adults around the world, focusing on chair work and things like that. So it's really good that you don't necessarily have to be
Get off the ground, on the ground. Yeah.
Totally fit to do these kinds of things. So between those 3, I think you will really find something useful to get you interested, and then you can start searching. I want to do something for my lower back, or I want to do something for my knees, and various things like that. You can look at those things available through there. So look, YouTube, it's one of those places you just jump down the rabbit hole and off you go forever. But have some targeted searching through there. You can find your favourites and go from there.
I love it. Coming up, Michael Bublé with Stardust. We're going to do a bit of a Coca-Cola theme coming up.
Sometimes I wonder why I spend the lonely
nights dreaming of a song. The melody haunts my reverie, and I am once again with you.
When our love was new,
and each kiss an inspiration. Oh, but that was long ago, and now my consolation is in the stardust of a song. And beside a garden wall, when the stars were bright, you were in my arms. The nightingale tells its fairy tale of paradise where roses grew. Though I dream in vain, in my heart it always will remain. My stardust melody, the memory of love's refrain. It always will remain. My stardust melody, the memory of love's
Second Chance Community Hub at Unit 1, 227 Railway Ave, Kelmscott is all about connecting the community. We specialise in costumes and retro goods and run various classes and workshops. So if you would like to share your skills and run a class or learn new skills, give Second Chance Community Hub a call on 6290-7068 or find Second Chance Community Hub on Facebook. Station sponsor.
Let's go.
Hola, Adam from Peking Duck here for RAD. We see a lot of our fans do a lot of crazy things at our shows, but it's always in the name of fun. You can enjoy yourself in any way that you like, but if you have a few drinks at a gig, then you're crazy if you think you can drive home. If you want to party, just keep it simple. Plan ahead and share a taxi. Catch public transport or have a designated driver who won't drink a drop. But whatever you do, don't make the next gig your last.
A message for RAD.
Trinidad, they make you feel so very glad. Calypso sing and make up rhyme, guarantee you one real good fine time. Drinking rum and Coca-Cola, go down Point Cumana, both mother and daughter, working for the Yankee dollar. Oh, beat it, man, beat it. Since the Yankee come to Trinidad, they got the young girls all going mad. Young girls say they treat them nice, make Trinidad like paradise. Drinking rum and Coca-Cola, go down Point Cumana, both mother and daughter, working for the Yankee dollar. Oh, you vex me, you vex me. From Chickahee to Mona's Isle, native girls all dance and smile. Help soldier celebrate his leave, make every day like New Year's Eve. Drinking rum and Coca-Cola, go down Point Cumana, both mother drinking rum and Coca-Cola. Go down Point Cumana, both mother and daughter, working for the Yankee dollar. Out on Manzanella Beach, GI romance with native peach. All night long make tropic love. Next day sit in hot sun and cool off, drinking rum and Coca-Cola. Go down Point Cumana, both mother and daughter, working for the Yankee dollar. It's a fact, man, it's a fact. Rum and Coca-Cola. Rum and Coca-Cola. Working for the Yankee dollar.
In Cannington, Gosnells, Armidale and Serpentine Jarrahdale. We're the voice of your community. 107.3 HFM.
And in tech history, what happened this week? We're going back to 1976. The VHS, the video home system, video recorders, were introduced in the US based on a standard developed by JVC, competing with and eventually killing off the Sony Betamax format in 1987. 1983, I remember this fondly, the science fiction film War Games was released, notable for bringing the hacking phenomena to the attention of the American public and Australian public. The film's NORAD set was the most expensive ever built at the time at a cost of $1 million. Not widely known is that the movie studio provided the film star Matthew Broderick with the arcade games Galaga and Galaxian so he could get first-hand experience before shooting the film's actual arcade scenes.
Some of the perks, I guess. Huh?
I guess, indeed, yes. Product placement. 1984, Tetris was born in Russia and has since become one of the biggest games of all time. And in 2005, Apple announced that they will be using Intel processors in Mac computers. And of course, this week we just heard that they say that's it for Intel processors. I guess 18 years is long enough.
Yep.
And in music, we have 1978 Grease stars. John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John scored the #1 hit, of course, with You're the One That I Want. Big song for the time. 1989, Jason Donovan became the first Australian actor to debut at the top of the UK pop charts with Sealed with a Kiss. 2004, sadly, Ray Charles, amazing singer-songwriter, passed away at the age of 73. This is music history this week. 2016, Rod Stewart was knighted in the Queen's Birthday Honours List for services to music and charity. And if it's your birthday today, you share it with the delightful Judy Garland, who of course is best known as Dorothy from Wizard of Oz in 1939, where she sang Over the Rainbow. The song was voted a Song of the Century in 2001 poll published in America. Don't believe me? Google it. Now, I promised you another quirky song, and this is it. This is Paper Doll by the Mills Brothers in 1943. A song about a man who prefers a paper doll to the real woman who broke his heart.
I'm gonna buy a paper doll that I can call my own. A doll that other fellows cannot steal. And then the flirty guys with their flirty eyes will have to flirt with dollies that are real. When I come home at night, she will be waiting. She'll be the truest doll in all this world. I'd rather have a paper doll to call my own than have a fickle-minded real live girl. I guess I had $1 million or more. I guess I played the doll, gave her and over. I just quarreled with Sue, and that's why I'm blue.
she's gone away and left me just like all dolls do. I'll tell you boys, it's tough to be alone, and it's tough to love a doll that's not your own. I'm through with all of them, I'll never fall again. Say boy, what you gonna do? I'm gonna do buy a paper doll that I can call my own, a doll that other fellows cannot steal. And then the flirty, flirty guys with their flirty, flirty eyes will have to flirt with dolls that are real. When I come home at night, she will be waiting. She'll be the truest doll in all this world. I'd rather have a paper doll to call my own than have a big gold mine that real good.
And discussion time.
Yes, it's an interesting one I put together. So, does tech make you lazy?
You just talked about yoga.
Yeah, there you go. So many people claim that technology doesn't make you lazy, but rather just helps you to do things more efficiently. Although it may seem like social media, entertainment systems and delivery apps are increasing our laziness, it also shows that we have made technological advancements. So it's an interesting balance, isn't it? We're not talking life balance, we're talking tech balance.
Yeah.
It's a concept. It's something you really need to consider, because there are things that we do every day with our technology that makes things much more efficient, which frees us up to do other things, potentially other things less sedentary. So how many people do you see at the gym on the treadmill listening to music on their technology, or an audio book,
or watching the screens on their tech,
researching some stuff for the next radio show they're going to do, or a presentation that they're doing? All right, so you can mix these things around. I'm interested to hear what you guys think. If you have a comment on this, does tech make you lazy?
Yep, feel free to text us on 0485 838 436.
And if you're working 9 to 5 in the office, you tend to just sit down on your PC or whatever it is that you're doing, whatever your tech-based job happens to be, and you don't tend to move around a lot, right? But we add technology, like reminders on our phones that buzz every half an hour or 45 minutes or something, or 15 minutes or even, to say get up, stretch, do some things, right? So we're using technology to help us do things, right? But you've got the people that just want to sit down and not do anything as well. But, arguably television, would you classify that as technology? Because if you're sitting in front of the TV binge watching Netflix or whatever, there is some interesting ways to look at this backwards and forwards. So
I suspect the psychology would probably be that if you took a football game, for example, you're going to have people who are competing in their football tournaments. You have people playing football. You're going to have people at home watching football. Those same people would either be using tech to exercise, or they'd be using tech to sit and not exercise.
Arguably, the people that are watching football, for example, are not likely to be sitting very still. They'll be jumping around.
This is true. This is very
Most
true.
passionate people that I've seen tend to be
very active.
And during the break, they'll go out and kick the footy out in the backyard, or if it's the cricket that's on, they might go and swing the ball around outside. Look, I think it's a bit rude to say just paint the
technology with that brush. Yes.
But there are some obvious reasons why that impression is there.
I think tech makes it much easier to exercise if you want to. You know, like using the VR goggles at home and, you know, playing a shooter game or something. You know, I come away from that exhausted, but not having noticed I've done any exercise. You know, playing games on the Wii Fit that improve my balance. You know, you come away from it going, oh, that was a fun game, not I've just done 30 minutes of exercise. So
in both those cases, though, you're talking about technology that is specifically designed to get you moving and doing things, not sitting down watching YouTube videos of people delivering presentations or unboxing of the new devices.
That's very true.
So it's horses for courses, and you really do need to take it all with a pinch of salt and be sensible about how you do these things. Technology can help. Technology can help a lot of things in a lot of ways, including exercise and fitness and motivation, as well as keeping your brain stimulated going forward.
Exercising, all of you.
Yes.
Excellent.
There we go. If you have comments, please text them in.
Unchained Melody. I hope you enjoy this.
Catene, ma solo piangerò lontano da te.
Making IT Easy 107.3.
Your Examiner newspaper is available weekly and is filled with news, information and advertisers from your local area. Packed every week with the reports you need about local sports, real estate, motoring, entertainment and local tradesmen. You'll be kept up to date with the goings-on from the 3 local governments, Armidale, Gosnells and Serpentine Jarrahdale. The Examiner has a proud reputation on its commitment to reporting news that is relevant to you. Station sponsor, The Examiner newspaper, available free every weekend.
For show notes or to listen to past shows or to email a listener question, head to our website magooit.com.au and follow the links to Making IT Easy.
Bye-bye love, bye-bye happiness, hello loneliness, I think I'm gonna cry. Bye-bye love, bye-bye sweet caress, hello emptiness, I feel like I could die. Bye-bye my love, goodbye. There goes my baby with someone new. She sure looks happy, I sure am blue. She was my baby till he stepped in. Goodbye to romance, that might have been. Bye-bye love, bye-bye happiness, hello loneliness, I think I'm gonna cry. Bye-bye love, bye-bye sweet caress, hello emptiness, I feel like I could die. Bye-bye my love, goodbye. I'm through with romance, I'm through with love, I'm through with counting the stars above. And here's the reason that I'm so free. My loving baby is through with me. Bye-bye love, bye-bye happiness, hello loneliness, I think I'm gonna cry. Bye-bye love, bye-bye sweet caress, hello emptiness, I feel like I could die. Bye-bye my love, goodbye. Bye-bye my love, goodbye. Bye-bye my love, goodbye. Bye-bye my...
In Linwood, Churchman and Banjup, we're the voice of your community. 107.3 HFM.
Future Tech from the Innovation Hub. Okay, ready?
Yes.
Brain implants.
Of course.
We've previously talked about brain reading.
Yes.
Yes. And I said I can't wait until we can get implants so I don't have to wear headphones. Well, they're one step closer. So brain reading is what we've looked at, and that was with external head-mounted EEG caps. So think of the old 50s sci-fi movies where they put these crown things on your head with little... They didn't do anything. They didn't work. But
Yes.
they've progressed those EEG caps to actually look at brainwaves now, and they're using it to control robotic arms with brain signals alone. Well, the world of science technology is constantly evolving, and this exciting development now means that we can actually connect people's brains to computers. Think about that. Elon Musk has this thing called Neuralink that's been making headlines for its ambitious plans to create a BCI or a brain-computer interface, but it turns out they're not the only ones making progress in this area. Just weeks ago, surgeons at West Virginia University worked with a New York-based startup called Precision Neuroscience to place thin strips of a cellophane-like material on the brains of 3 patients. We're talking humans here. These thumbnail-sized strips are designed to conform to the surface of the brain without damaging its delicate tissue. 15-minute procedure to set it up once they had it going, and they actually tested it for 15 minutes. The devices, they were in place and they were able to read, record and map electrical activity in part of the patient's temporal lobes, which helps process sensory input. The patients were already in hospital to have brain tumours removed, and the doctors used Precision's devices alongside these standard electrodes. It's an opportunity to put some real-life testing in place with minimal risk. So while this is just a small pilot study, it's an important step towards building a brain-computer interface that could revolutionise the way we interact with technology. BCIs have the potential to help people with a variety of conditions such as paralysis or ALS to communicate and control devices using their thoughts. Wow. Incidentally, ALS, the amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, is also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. It's a rare neurological disorder that affects motor neurons. So basically the information doesn't get to where they need to go in order to move your bits and bobs. So being those nerve cells in the brain and the spinal cord, they control voluntary muscle movement. Yeah. So things like chewing, walking and talking. If you have a problem with those things, you can't do those very basic things. So having something like this could just literally change someone's life. So wow, future tech, brain implants, way forward.
Never close your eyes anymore when I kiss your lips. And there's no tenderness like before in your fingertips.
You're trying hard not to show it, but baby, I know it. You lost that love and feeling. Oh, that love and feeling. You lost that love and feeling. Now it's gone. Oh, gone.
There's no open look in your eyes when I reach for you. And girl, you're starting to criticize little things I do.
Ooh, it makes me just feel like crying. 'Cause baby, something beautiful's dying. You lost that love and feeling. Oh, that love and feeling. You lost that love and feeling. Now it's gone, gone, gone. Ooh.
Baby, baby, I get down on my knees for you.
Get down on my knees. If you would only love me like you used to do. If you would only love me, love me. We had a love you don't find every day. A love you don't find. So don't let it slip away.
I said, baby, baby, baby,
we're talking about what's in the socials. Now, if you're looking for something to do over the next couple of weeks, can I give you just a moment to launch yourself at the nearest pen, pencil, texter and piece of paper, which if you're my mum will probably be an empty envelope or something like that to write some things down on. So if you were listening to James Ray this morning, you will know that tomorrow within the city of Gosnells, they're looking for help to plant 7,500 native seedlings.
How many? What?
7,500 native seedlings around the city of Gosnells.
No wonder why they want help.
Yeah, and that'll be great for our cockatoo population and shade and all that sort of thing. So you can stay for an hour, the whole morning, be prepared to get your hands dirty. A delicious sausage sizzle will be provided for the volunteers. So that's at Eden Court Drive Reserve, which is Eden, EDEN Court Drive Reserve in Southern River. That's with the Armidale Gosnells Land Care Group. So that's Sunday the 11th of June between 9am and 12. Of course, there's more information on the City of Gosnells website. But if you have that piece of paper and pen handy now, they have NAIDOC Week celebrations starting Monday the 3rd of July. So check this out. There is a NAIDOC Week flag raising ceremony. It's going to be hosted by Ernie Dingo. He's obviously coming to town.
Oh, wow.
Yes, now at the new location of Mills Park. Don't miss a yarn with Ernie Dingo at the City of Gosnells, the Don Russell Performing Arts Centre. Hear tales of his life and work. You can hear about native foods at the NAIDOC Week Bush Tucker Walk and Talk with Aboriginal Elder Gail Wynn. And let your imaginations of your little ones soar at story time at the shops at Maddington Central. So these are all part of the Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander NAIDOC exhibition and celebrations next week. More information, check out the City of Gosnells. Now, not to be outdone, the City of Armidale at the moment is also having NAIDOC Week, but I haven't gone into that. There's lots of stuff. Check out their website. They've got a whole pile of digital stuff coming up, which I really like. So, digital photo sorting is happening Saturday the 17th of June from 10 until 11. It's free. You can finally get your treasured digital photo memories sorted, commit to 1 hour and enjoy a lifetime of memories. So this is with organiser Sarah Hall is at this fun how-to guide. So that's digital photo sorting with the City of Armidale. They also have, now last week we talked a little bit about 28% of parents don't feel it's their job to talk to their children about online sexual health or online sextortion and that sort of thing. So you can take your kids to the City of Armidale, who apparently will do it for you. So talking to your kids about sexual health, you can get some support and guidance. If you're a parent, caregiver, guardian of a young person between the ages of 11 and 18, you're invited to go down and learn how to start the conversation. So this is on Tuesday the 20th of June from 6 until 7:30pm. Now that is on the Armidale Council website. Go and check it out. Also, if you want to talk to them about sexual health and well-being, Beyond the Birds and Bees workshop for teens. That is for teenagers, Tuesday the 20th of June from 4 until 5:30.
Okay.
We also have tech, if you want those same teens or some other teens to help you with your tech, because of course if you really want something done tech-wise, you hand it to your nearest teenager. Then they have a whole heap of sessions at the Seville Grove Library. We've talked about this before, Tuesdays from 3:45 to 4:45. You need to book because it books out.
It's busy, yeah.
Quickly. We also have bowel cancer education session. Not so much tech, but if you don't do this, you might not be around to enjoy the tech. So, Wednesday, 14th of June from 1 till 2. Two more, bear with me. Raising children. If you want some general support services. 2, here we go. Learn strategies to help support children in a digital world, including how to best use technology to enhance your child's development rather than detract from it.
Okay.
Go City of Armidale. Tuesday the 13th of June from 5:30 to 8pm. Sound like a broken record? It's on their website. And that's it.
Okay, that's quite a lot.
That last one's at the Armidale Library. They've got so much stuff going on. So check out particularly those two councils, City of Gosnells, City of Armidale websites for so much stuff going on. And all the other councils as well have got some great stuff. We're going to... Sorry, you hate it when I say that. We're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. We're going to stay right here and listen to a song about a man who praises his wife for being his sunshine and making him happy. Don't know what the song is? You'll recognise it. 1964, The Temptations.
Okay.
In a sec.
Oh, I know it.
Sunshine. IT Easy with Tony and Kay on HFM 107.3.
Hello, this is HFM. If you're hearing this, so are your prospective customers. You can now reach them via Perth's only 80s FM station for just $1 per 30-second sponsored message. For $1, you can have a 30-second spot to promote your business to our loyal audience. To take advantage of this amazing offer, call our Promote Your Business team on 0433 957 425. That's 0433 957 425. And together, we will make your business grow.
Stay on Your Feet is a campaign by Injury Matters and supported by the Department of Health. Falls are preventable. Each year, 1 in 3 people over 60 will experience a fall, some resulting in serious injury and not being able to return to independent living. Here are 3 steps for you to follow to help prevent slips, trips and falls so that you can stay on your feet and get on with enjoying the fun things in life. Move, improve and remove. Move your body regularly. It'll improve your balance and posture, strengthen your muscles and bones, and improve your overall fitness level and general well-being. Improve your health. Looking after your health and well-being is especially important as you get older and allow you to stay independent and prevent illness and injury. It's important to be aware of your physical and mental health. If you notice any changes such as feeling dizzy, pain, drowsiness or depression, see your GP. Remove hazards. As your body gets older, changes occur. Feel confident that you can adapt to these changes and make your home safer so that you can continue to live an active and independent life. There is a lot more information on the website at stayonyourfeet.com.au or call 1300 30 35 40. Stay on Your Feet by Injury Matters.
Just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You feel like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. And long last love has arrived. And I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. Pardon the way that I stare. There's nothing else to compare. The sight of you leaves me weak. There are no words left to speak. But if you feel like I feel, please let me know it's for real. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. Take my eyes off of you. Oh
little faith. Get the neon ready, pull on your leg warmers and rock the Casbah all the way to the 107.3 HFM's 80s fundraiser quiz night.
Just like Tom Petty will be free-falling into a night of 80s trivia and fun at the Armidale RSL on Commerce Avenue in Armidale on Saturday, June 24 at 6:30pm. There's a licensed bar, but you can bring your own favourite snacks, and we've got prizes up for grabs for the winners and best dressed. So if you're hungry like the Wolf to win or just want to bust a move, get your table together and choose your 80s inspired team name. Tickets are $15 and can be purchased through Eventbrite. See the pin post on our Facebook page, 1073 HFM, for the link to purchase yours today.
All funds raised at the 107.3 HFM 80s quiz night will go towards equipment upgrades and general running costs of the station, so we can continue to be the voice of your community.
The tech absurd.
I've got a remote. I've got a remote control.
Yes, I'm looking at a picture of a little furry fuzzball kind of thing with a tail. What am I looking at?
You're looking at a cubo. A cubo.
Okay.
Yep, it's a
cubo.
Yep, it's a tailed, like as in a tail, waggy waggy tail,
Right.
tailed cushion that heals your heart.
Oh,
Yes. it's
I can't even.
It's look, think of a roundish cushion about the size of a rock melon. I don't know why I chose rock melon with a tail. So you stroke it and this tail waves gently. You rub it and the tail swings playfully, and occasionally it'll just wag just to say hello off the cuff when it feels like
Really?
it. Whatever. It features lifelike tail movements, as you can imagine. It's the right weight and size to cuddle, and it has soft and smooth fur which doesn't molt. Cubo also comes in 7 colours with different fur textures. So you can bury your fingers, into shaggier one, or if you'd like a short-haired. The idea here is to replace a cat, or to. Perhaps you don't want to have one with a cat, because I imagine the cat wouldn't like it very much. Look, written on the tin, it's a comforting communication that warms your heart the way animals do. Begin your tail therapy today and wrap yourself with fuzzy love. Check out cubo.info, spelt QOOBO.info for more details. It's absurd, but I tell you what, it might take off.
It most certainly is. Yeah, I was trying to just change my music theme here and see if this was more appropriate.
No, I don't think it is.
Okay.
Cubo.info. Have a look, Google it, see what you think. Good fun.
There's a light, certain kind of light that never shone on me. I want my life to be lived with you, lived with you. There's a way, everybody say, to do each and every little thing. But what does it bring if I ain't got you? If I ain't got you, baby, you don't know what it's like. Baby, you don't know what it's like to love somebody, to love somebody the way I love you. In my brain, I see your face again, and I know my frame of mind. You ain't gotta be so blind, and I'm blind. Yeah, I'm blind. I'm a man. I'm the way I love you. To love somebody the way I love you.
And now we hear from you with our listener question. This one comes from Cannington, from Peter in Cannington. How do I stop my phone screen going dark?
Oh, good question,
So look,
Peter.
you can take this two different ways, I guess. If you mean the phone going completely black after a certain amount of time, so, you know, if you're just sitting next to you and it just goes black, that's screen timeout. Right, so that's something you can say, it might go after 30 seconds by default. Or you might want to extend that to 2 minutes or perhaps 5 minutes. There is an option to leave it on all the time, which I don't recommend because...
Although you could do it under certain circumstances. Like, you know, if I wanted to use my phone during this show, I might want to say, you know, just never, and then change it again at the end of the show.
That's true. Yeah, that's true too. But if you're using it during the show, you're going to be touching it and waking it up every few minutes anyway. So, anyway, that's under settings. Settings display screen timeout, right? So that's if that's what you mean about the screen going completely blank after a certain amount of time. If you mean the overall brightness changing automatically when you walk out into the sun or whether you walk into another room,
yeah, good question.
sometimes the screen goes black or darker, not completely black but goes darker. That's called adaptive brightness. Right. Adaptive brightness is a really cool thing because when you go out into the sun, it automatically detects that the sun is bright, and so it brightens your screen for you to give you a better chance of seeing what's going on. Similarly, if you go into a brightly lit room like the kitchen while you're cooking, you might want it brighter. If you're in the lounge room watching telly, you want it duller. Right. So adaptive brightness takes care of that automatically, and it learns and adjusts accordingly. That's also in settings under display called adaptive brightness. Okay. Now you can also manually adjust your brightness, or you can turn the adaptive brightness off. All right. So if you don't like it, if you want it just to be the same brightness all the time, you can just turn adaptive brightness off, and it will always stay that bright. And I think your phone is like that. But adaptive brightness, if you have it turned on, it will learn. So you can tweak it, right? You can manually adjust the brightness when you're in the lounge room to a little bit brighter, and it will go, oh, this is what you like when you're in this kind of ambient light. So it will learn over time and adjust between the values that you set. Right? So don't just throw the baby out with the bathwater with adaptive brightness. Leave it on and see if you can tweak it to suit you over a period of a few days a week. And then if you find that it still doesn't do what you want, then feel free to turn it off. Okay, so they're the two answers to your question there, Peter. Thank you for writing in.
It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can easily hide. I don't have much money, but boy, if I did, I'd buy a big house where we both could live. If I was a sculptor, but then again, no, or a man who makes potions in a traveling show. I know it's not much, but it's the best I can do. My gift is my song, and this one's for you. And you can tell everybody this is your song. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in the words how wonderful life is while you're in the world. I sat on the roof and kicked out the moss. Well, a few Now the verses, well, they've got me quite cross, but the sun's been quite kind while I wrote this song. It's for people like you that keep it turned on. So excuse me for getting, but these things I do, you see I've forgotten if they're green or they're blue. Anyway, the thing is, what I really mean, yours are the sweetest eyes I've ever seen. And you can tell everybody this is the song. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in the words how wonderful life is while you're in the world. I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in the words how wonderful life is while you're in the world.
We're making it easy. 107.3.
Looking for your local coffee haven? Then look no further than station sponsor That Plant Cafe in Kelmscott, right opposite Dan Murphy's on the Albany Highway. Sip on a delicious brew and savour healthy, hearty breakfast options.
Oh, God, it's so good.
Explore a selection of local goodies and glorious plants. They're open for breakfast from 6 a.m, so swing by and say hello before they close at 4. That Plant Cafe, your perfect morning, midday or afternoon retreat, where great coffee and lush greenery meet. Station sponsor.
For once in my life, I have someone who needs me, someone I've needed so long. For once unafraid, I can go where life leads me. Somehow I know I'll be strong. For once I can touch what my heart used to dream of long before I knew. Oh, someone warm like you would make my dream come true. Yeah, yeah, yeah. For once in my life, I won't let sorrow hurt me, not like it's hurt me before. For once I have something I know won't desert me. I'm not alone anymore. For once I can say, this is mine, you can't take it. Long as I know I have love, I can make it. For once in my life, I have someone who needs me.
to 107.3. Frankinator and the Hen Shooter coming up from 3 till 6 with Rock Aria, Fourth Dimension until 9. HFM, the voice of your community.
In Gosnells, Armidale, Cannington and Serpentine, Jarradale. We're the voice of your community. 107.3 HFM.
App of the day? App of the day? Yes?
Yes.
Yes, let's do some app of the day.
Yes, indeed.
Bitwarden. I want to talk about Bitwarden.
Oh,
It's a password manager. So you really should be using a password manager these days with the recent problems with some of the apps out there that have...
Yes.
Won't mention any names. LastPass. Problems with them. You might want to have a look at some options. And look, you might be hesitant to trust them at all. But soon enough... Passkeys, we talked about that recently, how Google Passkeys, they will take over the world, but it will be some time before they get everybody on board with this new tech. In the interim, Bitwarden is a great choice. So as far as password managers go, Bitwarden checks all the right boxes, in my opinion. For instance, it supports two-factor authentication, and I hope you all know what that means by now, and secure password sharing, which is a great facility if you have multiple devices that you use. So Bitwarden also implements a password generator, so you don't have to think about what your passwords are, and it can help you to import passwords from other services, so that if you're using your web browser to save passwords, etc., it can all be incorporated. Best of all, it's free and it's open source, meaning that developers are actively working on it. So if there are any flaws or problems found, it's quickly fixed, very responsive in the open source department. On the tin, it says, our secure cloud syncing features allow you and your team to access Vault data from anywhere on any device. Vault being a encrypted, secure cloud storage service available there. With end-to-end encryption, all your sensitive data is encrypted before it leaves your device, keeping your data secure when managing and sharing passwords. And if you don't want to use a cloud version, you can have it locally installed on your phone only. Right, so you're the only person that can have access to it. But obviously, if you want to share passwords with family members for things like, shared services, etc., you might want to have the cloud option there. But Bitwarden, have a look. It's available on the app stores, both in the Apple world and the Android world, and it's just a great option.
I love it.
Okay.
I promised a little bit earlier that I'd give you some more information about Rock Aria coming up this afternoon. That's at 3, and they're calling it the Legends and the Return of the Legends. I think the Legends are referring to themselves, which is, yeah.
Well, they're returning. They return every week.
Yeah, good on you. Frankinator, Hugo, and Hen Shooter. So they're going to have Black Canyon, I think, coming on, which formed out of the Pearl Jam Tribute Act. And they're also having the Silent Deeds, who are back after a slight hiatus. And they're going to they're about to launch into some serious shows, including a couple of gigs with Thirsty Merc. The Hen Shooter is waxing lyrical in regards to the foreplay, so maybe there's a pleasant surprise in there. And the live superset at 5 features the fourth and final part of A Voyage Through Time by Voyager Australia. And they've got Hugo's Metal Meltdown. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty rocking good time from 3 o'clock. And then, of course, we have... Fourth Dimension coming in from later on after that. So stick with us for a little bit longer, but we're going to something far milder. We have 3 Times a Lady by the Commodores, 1978. Song about a husband who praises his wife. He loves her, he wants her, and he needs her. A sweet.
Thanks for the times that you've given me. The memories are all in my mind. And now that we've come to the end of our rainbow, there's something I must say out loud. You once, twice, 3 times a lady, and I love you. Yes, you once, twice, 3 times when we are together, the moments I cherish with every beat of my heart. To touch you, to hold you, to feel you, to need you. There's nothing to keep us apart. You once, twice, 3 times a lady, and I love you. I love you.
Wind up with Game of the Week. Look, I was all excited about Words with Friends for the longest time.
Yes, you were.
Then I discovered Grabby Word.
Okay.
Grabby, Grabby. It's a cute little word game by Playzot. That's the company behind it. And it's a bit of a mix between Scrabble and Othello.
Oh, goodness. That's blast from the past.
So you take turns with an opponent, and that opponent can be human or computer, so turn-based. You lay tiles on the board like you would with Scrabble to make up words. Okay? But when it's your opponent's turn, they can steal or try to steal your points from the tiles that you've laid there by using some of your tiles to make up their words. So if you put the word dog down and then they've got an S, they can put the S at the end of the word dog to make it dogs, and then they turn your 3 tiles over, kind of Othello style or reverse style, and they get your points and you lose those points.
Oh.
It's really quite challenging and very interesting. The tiles kind of change colour when you get those points, and then they lose their points. There are wild cards, of course, that you can use if you need. And when the game is over, that's when the tiles are all used up, when one person uses up all their tiles. There's a tutorial in the game, so if that's difficult for you to grasp, you can actually step through the tutorial and it shows you all the different ways that you can play, and it's really quite good. You get a bit of a fan base going, and you can be a member of whatever groups of people that are there, and the computer can suggest challenges with people that are really good at it or whatever. You can just play on your own against the computer, or you can play with other people. Friends is a good way to keep in touch and do things like that as well. And it's a little bit different, It's not your normal Words with Friends stuff, and it kind of gets you thinking about how you can do it. And the points are huge. You know how you have double word, triple word, or double letter, triple letter. This is at 5 and 10 times scores and stuff like that. So the scores are huge when you're playing it, which is a little bit exciting because there's big stakes at it, if you like. Available from the stores, from the Android and Apple stores for free. There is a version available on the Windows Store if you like to play on your PC, but unfortunately that costs a little bit of money, and not a lot. It's $1 something or other from the Windows Store, but they're available free from the Android and Apple stores. Have a play, see what you think. Brain training kind of word puzzling games are always good for you, and something a little bit different that you might be sick of Scrabble and Words with Friends. Grabby Word. There we go.
Thanks. I've got these visions of, lots of grandparents, getting some experience with this, and then saying to the grandkid, hey, there's this great game via Playzite called Grabby Word. Let's see if we can do that. And see if you can get your grandkids into trouble by playing it in the middle of school, you know?
Oh, well, you know, the older of us, the more experienced with words, wordsmiths, if you like, we can teach the kids a few words too.
You can indeed. We are heading off. Thank you for another great week. Thank you for a great show, Tony.
And thank you for joining us, everybody. And thank you, Kay, for pressing the buttons and doing all of these wonderful things that you do that I could not do without you.
Good fun.
With keeping today's theme in mind, put a little love in your heart if you can. And I challenge you to say I love you to somebody today.
Oh.
Okay?
Yes.
I love you.
I love you too. See you next week. Have a great week.
Bye.
We're going out with Tina Turner. Let's Stay Together. Fabulous song.
Let me say the same thing. Since we've been together, ooh, loving you forever is all I need. Let me be the one you come running to. I'll never be untrue. Oh, baby, let's stay together.
good or bad.
You're listening to Making IT Easy on 107.3